Hey guys, so as you can tell by the title, we're going to be having a look at the Kat Von D Pastel Goth Palette. Now, first of all, please do excuse my eyes, they seem to look really tired. That's because they are. I've changed my filming schedule. It's now going to be more so in the evenings rather than, in the mornings. My routine has changed and whatever. So my eyes are really dry from my contact lenses, so please do excuse if my eyes are a little bit on the tired looking side. I will be working on that. So anyway, I picked this up in Debenhams. Now we do over here, but we get things a little bit later than everybody else here in the UK, because obviously Kat Von D is a US brand and they will get everything first and we get everything a little bit later on. So I wasn't even aware that this was going to be sold at Debenhams. I had no idea that it was going to be released at all, because it wasn't on the website. It still isn't on the website. I had to go into the store and surprise, it was there, and I decided to pick it up. It is £32. Now, I am a little bit on the skeptical side in regards to this palette, simply because, not because of all of the controversy about it not being real pastel and blah blah blah. The whole reason why I'm a little bit on the skeptical side right now, simply because I've swatched it in Debenhams 2 times before I made the purchase, and I feel like I decided to take a leap of faith, mainly because I wanted to review it for my channel. But the whole reason why is because the first time I swatched it, I found that a few of the shades were really pigmented, some of them weren't, and the ones that weren't, it was because those shades had hard pan on it. Everybody's putting their fingers in the sample palette and people may have grease or whatever on their fingers, and it creates that hard layer on top of the shadows, which makes it a little bit difficult for the true pigment to be transferred onto your finger. So some of the shades were nice, some of the shades weren't. Then when I went back the second time and I swatched it again, which was also the same time that I decided to pick it up, all of the shades seemed to be just flat. They were all a dud, and I couldn't figure out why, because none of them had hard pan on them. So I was a little bit weirded out and a little bit confused, because before some of them were really nice, some of them weren't. As I said, the ones which weren't, they had hard pan on it, but now that they didn't have any hard pan at all, I'm assuming that the employees probably scraped off that hard pan. Now none of them seem to really be nice at all, so it's just kind of like, what is the real situation? Is it a good palette? Is it not? I'm not too sure. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to pick it up anyway. I'm in love with the packaging. As you can see, the packaging is gorgeous. Kat Von D does all of the calligraphy and design herself for all of her palettes and all of her products, so immediately I'm taken aback by it. So this is the palette itself outside of the box. This is the actual box itself. This is the back of the box. This is the back of the palette. Okay, so the front of the palette, you can see, I'm not too sure if you can see it in the camera, but it's a little bit raised. The actual lettering is raised. Where it says Kat Von D, it is flat, but it is like silvery. It has like a silver kind of accent where it says Kat Von D. And then the palette itself, it has a mirror at the top here, and it has all of these shades, and there's 8 shades there. So because I've had a bit of a weird one with this palette, I'm going to live swatch these so that I can get a final verdict on whether or not I like this palette, or whether or not it swatches well. So now already it's kind of looking a little bit chalky, so that's the first 3, and unfortunately they are quite chalky. Oh, so disappointed. These are the swatches for the next 3. Sorry if you can hear my son. Okay, those three swatched quite well. And the last two, they swatched okay. White is a little bit on the patchy side. You probably have to build that up. But they swatched okay. I'm gonna go back in with the first three and see if it builds up at all. But these first three here, like this one you can barely see on camera, but I can see just fine in real life. The yellow and this lilac-y kind of color, they're a bit on the chalky side. So let me see if I can build those up. Okay. So there you go. They can be built up, but they do still kind of look a little bit dusty. But at the same time, we have to take into consideration it's called pastel goth. I don't belong to the whole goth aesthetic, the whole goth world. I've heard some people say, you know, this isn't real pastel goth, it should be a little bit different to this. But considering that it says pastel, I would assume that they're going to look a little bit on the creamier, chalkier looking side. So I'm not surprised, but I did expect them to be a little bit more pigmented considering the fact that they're Kat Von D shadows. I have seen a couple of people use these palettes and they've gotten fabulous results from them. I'm going to do a video where I am going to do a look with these shadows, and I think what I'm going to do is look just like one eye, just the shadows with a primer, and the other one the same look. It's going to have like a white base to see if the pigment changes, so you can see if there's a difference. I think that's what I'm going to do, so you can see the difference between the two. But these, again, these are the swatches for the shadows. I thought that they were going to be a little bit better, but let's see what we can do with them. So I will go ahead and do that, and I'll see you in the next video. So don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to put me on notification, don't forget to share this video, and I'll see you in the next one.